Mhm.
Are we on there, Chris?
Yeah.
All righty, then welcome to the meeting, and we're into the file folders here to do our weekly review of all things Effingham. Just kind of, that's it. Tom, did you get your health membership in?
No,
Officers, okay. The captured one here, that must be mine.
yeah, I just got mine out here.
Do you know what an advanced enviroseptic is?
Yeah, that's all the tubes, the ones that moved away, they started putting those out, I don't know, maybe back as far as 20 years now, getting so old,
Okay,
yeah. And that is, just you're looking at the septic system.
yeah.
Yeah, it takes less space and everything, that's pretty much the standard.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Never seen
Less space, it takes up less room usually, I think. Chris, did we add more duties for Mr. Carver? Is that taken care of?
Audrey dealt with that.
Oh, okay,
I'm not sure what exactly happened there.
all right.
And there's a pothole item in here we ought to discuss.
Oh,
The regular meeting request for us to pay for the cars.
Well, if anybody's concerned about police coverage, we had 5 officers out on our roads, from what I gathered here this past week.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
So there's a question in here from the staff around this President's Day, a paid holiday, and the answer is yes.
Yes.
So the question is the office open on a federal holiday?
Not usually. Some folks are in here to finish up things. We have one employee who's moving on, so she came in and cleaned up some things from her desk, and then I believe Deanna was here taking care of some of her business, and she's a kind of a salary position. It's a kind of a different animal for her.
Okay.
So that being said, we'll have to reschedule the meeting to like a Wednesday like we did today.
In that week?
Most likely. I thought you meant this past holiday, so.
No, the upper coming one.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep,
in February.
gotcha. Actually, your membership is in here, Tom. Along with my transfer station item, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I just got the, I did give it to her.
I guess it looks like I failed to sign something here. Yep.
Yeah, let's just report for the town forester.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, sir.
You're welcome, sir.
Just got the light. You got the light piles. You have to be there a while, yes. Oops.
Yeah. What's the mileage reimbursement now?
I thought it was 56.
It was somewhere around there.
Yeah, 54, 56,
Okay.
somewhere, if it did anything, it moved a penny or two, that was it.
Yeah.
We don't set that.
I know, I was just curious. Yeah.
Mike, who normally fills out the survey that's needed for using the school for voting? In town meeting?
I did it last year, but because it's an election and then you're doing the town meeting, I wasn't sure what your setup was.
I don't honestly know, and since we haven't met with the moderator yet, which I think we're supposed to meet this month.
Yeah,
So as far as the town meeting day, that's Susan Slack's call, basically.
Okay.
So we haven't
Hold-
set
hold
yet.
till
so-
then.
Yeah, I would think maybe till there's a good discussion on what we're actually trying to do.
That makes sense. Yeah, we get into session, discussion, I'll talk a little bit about the tree authorization.
Oh,
I
yeah,
actually talked to one of the guys on the road yesterday,
yeah.
these are important for us to sign, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't recall seeing that particular style before. I don't believe anybody's attended the Lakes Region Planning Commission, the Transportation Advisory Committee in forever. Least-wise, I think I was the last one to attend. It's not impactful. I guess if we were gonna send somebody there, maybe that might be something for Mark Kempton, who works on behalf of the planning board with the planning commission.
Is that Mark?
No, Mr. Dave.
Oh, Dave. Dave. It's to the point now, whenever I see a document with DES written on it, I actually usually have that person's contact numbers in my phone, people I've already been down the road with a dozen times on something or other. No difference in this one.
Thank you, sir.
You're quite welcome.
I cleaned
Oh.
Chris, do you know what the NCMA website is? For job postings?
Not offhand. NCAA. Municipal Association.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, yeah.
Dave?
I'm okay.
Signing. Coffee. All right. Everybody go for coffee. This one here? Yeah, that one. So this current use document, Chris, when put this together?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're talking about that large file? Which one?
It's for property on Providence. It's assuming,
Is that file I just gave you?
yes,
That was the one prepared.
well, no, it's actually in this signature one, there's
Oh, okay.
a lot of timber cut activity stuff, so
Yeah, all those were going.
I, thank you. Just wanted to verify that these.
Yeah, be careful with the current use ones.
Well, just did the old sign on the wrong line and signature on the other. Happened before.
That should be okay.
Yep, just reverse them. Slow down, pay attention. What do you think, John? We just go quick today and
Mhm.
pick up the bulk of stuff next week?
Yeah,
I'm good with it.
I overslept this morning, sleep.
I'm dating everything 2020.
Yeah, today's a day of sleeping.
You know, you change that year.
I almost looked at dating for everybody. That's how it's going like that.
Honestly, it would have been helpful.
Yeah, I see that now.
Yep. Ah. Yeah. You know what? That's fixing. Down the road, I think everybody will figure it out.
Just don't do it with whiteout.
And stop me on the blonde jokes. Get me in trouble. And I'm already in. It was a setup. It was 120 followed by two more 20s. It was just too easy. And this one. That's a print. More and more properties going into current use. Is there a signature to go on this one, Chris? It's previously done.
Is that the updated one?
There's one, I put one signature.
This has been signed before, so you try.
Okay. That's not the one I was thinking of. Okay, she just wrote, okay, so that's probably just part of.
Just part of it. Part of it.
And then there was a new one that didn't have a sign here. I don't know if you saw that yet. It wasn't part of that.
It was in,
Right, okay.
well, I think it was in.
Yeah, it's separate.
All right. All right, looks like we made it through the folders today. That was exhausting. So with that, we have the approval of the minutes from January 12th, which is a 2021. That looks to be the closeout of last year's manifest. And I don't have a number in here for that.
Oh, the small one, sorry, I left that one out.
Yep, that's all right. I used to take them right off the manifest and write them down, but you guys started providing so much information, I stopped doing that. And what's this? Final manifest 2020. And that looks to be, tell me if this sounds right, Chris, $5,546.
I'm not sure, I didn't do that one.
You didn't, huh?
It was already in the folder. What was it, 5,000?
$5,546. It's an unusual manifest.
I think it was in addition to Evans, was that the one?
Yes, it's road contractor activity.
Right, okay.
So, okay. Looks to be. So I'll make that motion to approve the final manifest from 2020 in the amount of $5,546. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor, please.
All right.
Cal and I. And with that, I'll make a motion to approve the manifest of January 20th, 2021 in the amount of $52,142.30. Do I have a second?
All right.
Second.
Cal and I.
All right. We got it.
Definitely, we don't have our A game running here today, Tom. Collect some of these papers. So I don't mess everybody in the office up. All righty. Signature folder, oh my, we had current use applications.
Oh, minutes.
It doesn't have them listed here.
Second one down.
Yes, it does. Approved the minutes of January 12th, 2021.
All second.
All right, I make that motion. Chuck takes second. All in favor, please.
All right.
And Hal and I.
That's the answer.
Well, not me and you. Chuck seems to be fine.
Yeah, on top
He
of it.
was up early, he had that third cup.
You got this, I got.
All right, so we have a couple of new current use applications. Current use, looks like the Form 12s plural. To put in a yield tax for property in town was applied, which is a timber tax for people who don't know. Solar exemption was approved, and veterans credit applications has been put through. And let's see, we have intent cuts on a number of lots, and those as well were approved. And we have the review of the mail. Governor Wentworth has, school district has approved for use the school on both the election day and on what's normally scheduled for town meeting day. Those items, the election day will go on as scheduled, as far as I know. My understanding from the town moderator is there's discussion about moving town meeting day. So we're hoping to have another meeting together, all the principal parties, Deanna, obviously town clerk, tax collector, and I believe she's going to set that up. So more information coming on that.
And what is the actual election day?
It is the second Tuesday in March, which is fairly early,
All right, okay.
I do believe. Oh, where's the
That's all right, I'll find it.
calendar? So in March, second Tuesday, would probably be the 9th, I believe. And then typically the Saturday that follows would be the 13th. That's if I'm reading that right. Or right, confirmation. We had the LRPC newsletter that came out, some septic system approvals, which is an ISDS, individual septic system, whatever. Let's see, Jeff Libby, town forester, put in some recommendations, noting that I contacted him earlier in 2020.
Do we need to do anything to approve him going ahead with those 2 lots, or?
I mean, we could, I think it's a heads up, we just had him manage for decades now, the
Okay,
property.
That's good.
So, I mean, if he came to us and said he wants to actively do it, maybe that's when we, do it, say
Well, it sounds
something.
like he was waiting for our direction.
Oh,
For
okay,
an overview.
all right, then.
He's making a recommendation, he's waiting for us to respond.
Yeah, I'm fine with discussion on, yeah,
No, I'm fine with it.
I'm fine with it,
all right,
Based
then.
on the report he did and the particular plots, I'm good with that.
Timelines and, yep. Well, then I'll make a motion that we inform Forester Libby that if, at his discretion to set up that, those cuts. Part of that is timing, as he says, it's a market-based thing, what's the,
I'm good.
the cost of wood. You don't cut now, you wait 3 years, whatever, until the market goes up, but I would say that I make a motion to, approve at Jeff Libby's discretion, the timing of those cuts on those particular lots that he.
I'll second it.
All right.
Fuller, aye.
Cal and I. All right then. So we have the location for election town meeting still under discussion. Mileage reimbursement has gone up to, it looks like 56 cents. I think it was 55.5 the last time I looked at it. Can't say for sure. Gwen English has taken another position, so she will be sadly missed here, as the volume of work that she produces is obviously pretty impressive here. She covers a lot of bases, so.
So I looked at that job description, it was attached there, and I thought that was pretty good as far as an advertisement.
Yeah,
I think we ought to get that out as soon as we can.
I also have reached out to and haven't received anything back from Avatar to see if they have some clerks working in the area who, work with their system and maybe part-time in other towns.
It's a good idea.
So I'll follow up again and try and see if there's some folks that might be interested who are already processing things. But yeah, we can certainly get that out when either Chris or Audrey gets back. The New Hampshire Municipal Association is obviously a good place, and we went through a whole bunch of things for hiring town administrators. So there's a lot of sites to be utilized, and I'd say any of these web-based things would be great. So anybody has other inputs?
No, I think the overview that was attached to the sheets today is a good description.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Advertising purposes.
Yeah, then with that, I would just simply say to go forward with that. I'm gonna back up a second here. I told the agreement, this facilities agreement is what that was. And pending discussions with the town moderator, you should probably keep this around somewhere to follow back up on, okay, Chris?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. So moving it on down here, go to the administrator's comments. I think that's going to be pretty quick today, as Audrey is on vacation. So that brings us to you, Tom.
Another quick one. Really, I got a septic was pumped out last week, the transfer station, all said it was full. They're gonna be the contractor's gonna be starting up a firehouse today. Gonna bring the trailer in, they're already down the area. He called me yesterday. And he's sending in his insurance certificate.
Yeah.
He sent it to Chris, here at the office.
I believe we received it.
You did, okay. And, I do gotta get a hold of the electrician, because, I talked to Randy yesterday about the lights on the outside of the firehouse. The ones that are there, he wants it, but he also wants to have one towards the back corner, shining out on the field, like,
Yeah, well, it's
to the left, if you're looking at the building.
Yeah.
To the left, I think that's where he wants it shined.
Yeah, whatever the chief wants, I guess, you know.
So I just gotta have to meet up with the electrician at some point, and, go with that one.
All right. Let's see here, what do I got on trying to think of the people I've been contacting, what's the follow-up, so. So that's all you got for today?
Yeah,
How you making out with the utility company? Having fun?
I've been on a merry-go-round yesterday, it was like an hour on the phone on hold yesterday with these folks.
Really?
Not counting the 20 minutes I was on before with the other guy on hold. For him. And I got another note this morning from the tech super who's in charge of our work order. And he's saying something different than his boss said yesterday. Oh, it's incredible.
And have we found out yet if we've been paying somebody else's, the state's bill yet?
That's funny, that question, I've asked that. I got a figure pretty close to 35,000, if that's just going on so many years, and I was nice on that. Averaging, and no one likes to call you back on that, no one seems to know the answer. I
Okay.
asked for an agreement, do they have an agreement? Whoa, that's going back so many years, I don't know. That's what you get,
Interesting.
so I got a number here, and when this meeting's over, I'm gonna call, don't know if I'll call from here. There'll be some language involved, so I'm just gonna.
Try to be nice.
I call it home.
Sometimes it's
Yeah,
not
just
easy.
getting fed up with them. If someone ran a company the way they're running that, they'd be out of business. They
Well,
really would.
it's a guaranteed operation there. So, all right, let me see. I think I'll take Chuck's, Fuller's spot while he's, involved. Oh, Chuck is back,
Sorry
so
about that.
that's all right. A lot of business to run in the town. Lots of business.
Ready?
Yep, your turn.
Okay. The handwritten note in there around pothole damage and us paying for it, I don't believe we pay for pothole damage.
No, typically we don't. We've had a number of these things in the past, and my front end fell apart when they hit a nothing burger out there. Like there's no detail here to me. Like, what did you hit? Where did you hit it? Is this a minor pothole? Is this a major one? How do you prove whatever's happening? People have tires that maybe aren't great, they blow out, or a front end that's falling apart. You got an old junk vehicle, whatever. It's hard to really, how do you quantify this? So I think this is one of those processes that has its own process and a life that it takes. And I think that this individual will just have to pursue it in the way that they feel best. And it's not to say something didn't happen. It's
Yep.
just like, what do we do with that? I mean, next thing we're fixing every vehicle in town. I just don't think we can stop that trend. I agree with you.
Okay.
Tom, you any?
Oh.
No, you don't want to touch that hot potato either, huh? Okay.
All right, next item, tree pruning. So in our
Yeah.
documents today, there's a flyer that's requesting us to sign it, and it happens to be, they were cutting on Snow Road yesterday.
Oh.
And I talked to the guy, and he said what they do, they've got a guy in the office, that's all he does is work with town offices, getting the taxpayer mailing addresses.
Yeah.
When they want to do a cut on a road, they mail that out to everybody on the road. They then mark all the trees. If they do not get that back, they do not do the cut. So you wait till the tree falls on the wire, then you fix it. So the ones that come into the town is because something we have abuts the road that they're dealing with.
Yeah.
So we should be signing those and sending those back.
Yeah, it's interesting because I know that I've been approached before by the representative for the power companies that come through and say, hey, we're gonna be cutting here. that could affect your
Yeah,
power.
it's the same guy, I think.
Yeah, there's, like they said, there's one guy that, gets designated for it. So from every tree company, this one's obvious, Asplin is working on behalf of the, power company, Eversource. So, with that, anything that gets sent into the office is pretty much automatically signed by the town. We never say no. I guess the big thing would be, whomever doesn't sign it, property owner wise, because the right of way in Effingham, I don't believe there's a road that we own under the road unless it was a state road that was given to us. Then the rights to everything under the road are owned by independent, we have that usage. So with that, I think if anybody signs it and says, no, I don't want you to do.
No, they just don't return it, which means it's a no.
Yeah, right, because anybody who doesn't return it, I think then there's a liability that probably shifts to the property owner. And if somebody does say, no, I don't want you to cut these trees, then again, if those trees became problematic, because we're not stopping the process at the municipal level. And sometimes we have an overlap there when it's, say you have stone walls on both sides of the road, and those trees outside the road, close to the road, outside the stone walls, close to the road. Our position is you gotta do what you gotta do. And if a property owner wants to contest that or not fill it out, I don't think we have a liability in that. I think that might possibly shift to a property owner. Yeah, I would,
Yeah, and I was looking at the ones they were marking were clearly dead trees that were, they're gonna come down. So it wasn't like they were taking a brand new tree and destroying it. These are all trees marked because of their condition.
Well, they do show some illustrations of what they will do with a good, healthy tree in an effort to keep the branches away from the wires, so. It's business as usual, it's been going on probably longer than we've been alive, so I'm good with it. If something comes into the office, I would think that, we should probably empower Audrey to be able to, the town administrator, to just sign off on these.
Yep.
All right, so I don't know that we need to make a motion on that or not, but I think that's just a matter of process. We just designate that.
I took a drive with Brad around to the town properties and reviewed the snow shoveling, plowing, scenario. No big surprises. I'm gonna rewrite the document that he gave us that was called a contract, but really isn't one.
Right.
A description of work. I'm also gonna add in there some snow plowing recommendations. Apparently over the last year or so, whoever's been doing plowing is different than the person that had been doing it prior to that. And they're now literally pushing snow into places that need to be shoveled, when reality is they could push it slightly different and push it by, which would save a whole lot of time in shoveling through snowbanks.
And may I offer the suggestion of not putting those shoveling recommendations in this document, but supply me what you've encountered, keep a copy, and I will get to Ron, because I had that situation that got reported by Mark about an issue at the transfer station. I did follow up with Ron, he took care of it supposedly, he sent somebody out. But I will have the conversation with him
And
before
they're
the
not
next
big
storm.
things, it's just like being just a little bit more conscious. I know guys are tired when they're doing some of this stuff, but give an example of the small fire station on Lord's Hill.
Yeah.
When they push it down the side of the building, the great news is they get it away from the building. The problem is they stop right at the end of the pavement and create a huge banking, which then Brad has to shovel through to go around the corner to the gas tanks.
Oh, right.
The reality of it is, all you do is push it another 5 feet, which there's land there to do that,
Right.
and the shoveling's almost nothing. But that's an example of,
Yeah.
used to do it, but don't do it anymore, kind of thing.
If you like say, if you write those up, I
Okay.
can take a copy of those and bring them to Ron, provide him a copy and just say, these things would greatly help us. So, sure.
All right.
Are you gonna do the snow shoveling ones, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna retype this, so we've got a good document of it, because this was something that was handed to him years ago. And Audrey did a couple of emails out regarding some of her journal entries on the Historic Town Hall project with grants that have come in and reimbursements from Preservation Society. And it's not quite right yet, but I'll work with her to do that. And part of it is I'll make sure I get check numbers from the organizations that actually either receive something from us, so they know the check number, or the check number that they gave to us for the payment. So we'll hopefully get that done. It's just a journal entry thing. It doesn't change the overall account.
Okay, and again, I hold you there real quick, because Chris, I know you, an item or two back, you had, I heard you kind of look, trying to ask a question of what Chuck was covering, I think.
Oh,
Sorry about that. I couldn't see her.
That's okay.
what are we calling that tree cutting form? Is it a consent?
Yeah.
It's an Eversource authorization
Eversource authorization, okay.
to cut
Cut or
trees
prune.
and tree limbs away from the power lines.
Okay, I just wasn't sure
Which we're returning to you here, so if you need to alter any language on that.
thank you.
Yes, I was confused by, about part of that, as you know, it was well, we had an investment pool money come in, and it looked like the same number.
Yep, it was close.
Okay, so that was
It
thrown,
was $15 off. You're right.
right, yeah, but does that represent that money? Like,
No,
Okay.
that's not even on the sheet that she had in.
okay,
So,
that was
which it
driving,
shouldn't be because it was general fund money when it came back.
right, and that was driving me nuts from months ago, before Audrey was here, obviously, so it's just.
But because she's got the shortage of that amount, it means I need to just follow up with EPS and get the check number or the date it was cashed, so you can look at the deposit slips and find it.
Okay, so on that, we probably, because this thing's getting big.
Well, she and I talked about, she's, based on what had previously been done with Brian
Yeah,
in the past and what had been previously done with Claudia in the past.
yeah,
Audrey's come up with a new format for that. So it's all gonna show up underneath municipal buildings, in and out money. So it's basically gonna show going in, but it's also gonna show the expenses. Rather than having it in 4 different places, which is what we have now,
yeah,
it'll all be in one place.
okay,
And we'll have to make notations, because it's like, when, like, give me an example, when EPS gives us a check, that's gonna show up as revenue. It won't show on there, it's gonna show an expense on our budget actual unless we're also getting a revenue report, which we're not getting yet.
no,
So we'll just have to throw in those areas, we'll just have to make sure we're clear with the budget committee and ourselves. Yes, it was revenue to offset this, it's really zero.
so why couldn't we not like have it in municipal buildings, which kind of muddies the water a little for me, and say, just have a designated heading, maybe right under that says town hall project.
And that, she wanted to keep it in that area, but I think that's a great idea, it kind of keeps it cleaner.
Yeah, that way it won't confuse that whole budget portion, and then we can track the money in and out, and because this is obviously getting bigger with grants that are being filed, certainly those that have been filed and accepted. I know we're trying to establish a folder for all that, right? I've heard you say,
Yeah.
okay. So maybe we need to do that with any of these funds too, like, this is probably a paper trail, I guess, is what I'm gonna put them on. So that's being done. Okay, because I gotta be honest, when some of this was mixed in, and it was like multiple places on the
Yeah,
budget
it's
to
too
try and
confusing
have
the way it
it.
was added.
I
No,
was-
and that's what she's going at, is to pull it all together in one location,
Okay,
get the line item name, kind of the appropriate, name, rather than just saying grant or
yeah,
something like that. It'll be a little bit more descriptive, so when you look at it, you go, oh, okay, that's an EPS reimbursement from a submitted expense from the town. This is a grant from another agency.
yeah.
We'll go that route with it.
Yeah, that would be so much better to be able to, and that was my thing. Where's the money coming in, in from, where's it going out to, just to really capture that, because it really wasn't being broken out that way. And we had identical numbers, and I'm just like, what's taking place? I couldn't,
Yep.
without the details.
So I traded another email with her on that, and I'll work with her to get that.
Okay, great.
So, and that's all I have.
Oh, nice. Not trying to be rude, nice. So, yeah, I had, again, gone through some of the final, budget items, and I'm not sure if these are some of these are still malleable and from the reporting perspective with Audrey, because I had a couple things that still jumped off, but it's a lot better than where we were. And one of the things we're probably gonna wanna take a close look at from a budgeting standpoint this year is telephones, because all that has changed and obviously made a big jump on our last, and we projected numbers. And,
She and I've given her the original proposal.
yeah,
She and I reviewed that. She's now doing a little comparison homework on her own, so I talked with her last week on that.
all right. So, yeah, she manages to get some, a good handle on where the phone costs are going to be. At least we have time to adjust that if we need to, because that seemed like the cost it's bothering me the way it's moving, so I don't know if there's something there or not. Payroll
Just
expense,
along those same lines, Mike, when I was in here, we did, hook up the phone out back, and I don't know, we know it's on call forward. They can't use that phone, the second phone out there at this point. Originally, apparently it was designed to be programmed, when they're in the office, they can take it off call forward to dispatch. When they leave the office, they can put it on call forward. So she's working on figuring out what the programming needs to be and who needs to do it to be able to get that phone so they can read it, use it as a second phone out there.
well, funny thing, the other day, it was about 8 a.m. and my phone rang, and it's the old PD number. I answer it, and nobody's responding, but I can hear background noises, and it was very short, and then it was gone. And I figured you might have been working out there, so I called it back. I forget, maybe that was Monday, Tuesday.
Dial. Okay, yeah, okay.
It called me. I don't know why.
Interesting, okay.
So I dialed it back, and I got sheriff's dispatch, so it is following.
Well, we know
calls.
it's forwarding.
So I had an interesting call with the
Okay.
guy at dispatch to
Yeah, so
say,
she's gonna follow up on that and figure out what the programming is, but that looks like, this one's now working in here. That one is supposedly working out there, they just need to get it programmed different. Once we know that's there, the last thing I need to do is follow up with Joe, and I haven't done that yet, to make sure, and I'm gonna do it with Sean. Dispatch tech needed to come over here as a result of the phone change and change something out. They can't do it from over there, they have to come over here.
okay,
That was the same point in time Ian was leaving, so I'm not sure that was done. So once we know that has been done, and we now know it is with Consolidated, we can cancel the Spectrum bill, which is like $102 a month,
yeah, it'd be nice to see.
which
that.
is being captured in some of those expenses right now.
Okay, yeah. That's part of what I'm talking about, is there seems to be a few loose ends money-wise here that are just not making me feel comfortable with it.
Yep.
What, Mark?
So the next thing to be worked on is, and I got an email from Audrey, she's trying to clean up the payroll expenses. There was a little hiccup on what was getting reported in there, so the budget versus actual doesn't fully capture that number's larger than what we actually spent. So that's one of those things. And then, of course, we covered the town hall number, which is, has been added into municipal buildings here for the purposes of reporting, which needs to come out, because we should be at like $74,035 and change, and we appear to be, that 7817 is in there, so that needs to be cleaned up. There was something else that seems to have been added to the new police cruiser and equipment, under the budgeted amount that was to be spent, which cannot be there. That number was 36,000 and change, and there's an additional like $3,000 thereabouts added to that. So that's a correction that needs to be taking place. Street lighting. I'm not sure when that bill came in, but it puts us $1,500 and change over the amount budgeted, and probably in the neighborhood of $3,500 more than we spent the previous year or more. So street lighting is
that on this year's bill?
It's on the 2020 bill, which is over $9,200. and we budgeted, 7,700 and change. And I think we're at 54 or 5,700 in 19. So these lights are starting to get ridiculously expensive. And so your pursuits are warranted, in my opinion, to get to that. And I wanted to look in at repairs on the solid waste or compactors, because that number has jumped again. And I don't recall that we've had any recent work done, so that was kind of a consideration to look at that and see what may have gotten mixed in there. Perhaps something didn't belong there, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing any bills for work over the last several months.
Yeah, so that's
The
kind of,
annual checkup was the real good size one.
Yeah, because that was the oil changes and all
Yeah.
that. And that was what, year before?
It was last.
well, last year in the summer, we had the new company came in, and you were actually,
Right.
yeah, so. Well, again, a few follow-up items, so if you're looking at the budget and going through and a few things pop out at you, I do have a few quiz questions that I'm gonna be going over when Audrey comes back with her. Let's see. I still have to get down to the facilities report, but that's pretty much it. I did have ongoing conversations with HEB, trying to get the contract, which an awards letter has been sent out to Hanson, and he hasn't signed it yet. He had some concerns. He just wanted to make sure everybody's on the same page. So Mike Hanson is supposed to send us a breakdown of the bridge diagrams, whatever he's concerned about, get that information in, and to HEB, so that Chris Forney would have roughly a week to go through it, and any questions or concerns he may have, we're gonna have a sit down with HEB, Mike Hanson, Mike's engineer on the project, Tom Levin, and us, and go through all the discussion points of any big ticket items that could move the needle here or cause a problem for the construction, to resolve it. And with that, my concerns that I expressed both to the contractor and our engineer is anything that's on the site that could cause a problem. Say the pilings just aren't, finding the point we need to, as we drive them. There's gotta be a cutoff point. You can't go all the way to China trying to run pilings, and there's gonna be limitations on what the contractor can do to drive pilings. So with the engineers in the room, things that I don't fully appreciate in the field for this, I want those big ticket items on the table, have that discussion with the engineers from both sides of this issue, and say, all right, we're gonna make an agreement to what we're gonna call, this is the cutoff point. So that if things don't go perfect, what's an acceptable point, and have that pre-designated, so if something does happen, we don't have one guy going, you're driving me to the poorhouse, and somebody else saying, well, I think you need to go deeper, when the other person's going, that's over the top. Let's end it here before we even
Yeah,
start.
getting all the engineers in the room is critical.
So we're penciled in for the 29th, provided Mr. Hanson and his engineer get the appropriate information to HEB for us in time. So I'll be following up with that. Like I said, I'll be reaching out to Avatar on assessing concerns. And I spoke to Mr. Hatch over at Action Ambulance on my way in today. He's gonna be in the area, so he may not be able to get the final year-end ambulance reports out until this evening, but he's assuring me they will go out this evening. In which case all towns will have that, and we can base our finances on the contract off the actual numbers. And that will, our end will cover, our report will also have a breakdown of usage from the business in town that we have an agreement with. So all of that is pending. If that comes out tonight, I've asked him, I know it gets sent to the town halls. I've asked him to send me copies. Should I receive that, I will send copies out to the both of you and the budget committee chairman, so that we're all looped in. and have access to that information as soon as we possibly can get our hands on it. With that, I really didn't have anything else I wanted to get into today. I know that Chris needs to be somewhere. Sounds like we're all kind of united on pack and run today. I can appreciate that. So I'm going to just ask Dave, since you took the time to show up, was there something that you wanted to cover?
Well, it was the ambulance numbers.
Ah.
And the reason that I went back on those numbers, I crunched all the numbers that Mike had given them through November. And we're 120,000 for next year is our amount that we would need for the town. I know we put in 140, so my question to him is where did you get the numbers? Because we only have 1 month left. So I assume the percentages that we have are gonna stay pretty close. So I'm trying to whittle that number down to a more realistic number for our budget. And I'm trying to get that number this week before I put out too many more things on the web. Because I want to put the final budget sheets on the web. I've got them all printed in here. It's posted in the newspaper for 2/2 for the public hearing. And Chris in the office knows that it says in the posting, there are printed copies available of the budget sheets. And when requested through the selectman's office, come pick them up. And there will be copies on the web that they can download. I don't want to put the copies on the web until we finalize the ambulance numbers. I had to print the ones we had right now. So we're gonna have to fix that in the meeting. That's all for those people that actually took a hard copy. So I would like to have the numbers all finalized for everything we're doing, including if we're gonna be doing anything with the historic district. Now that I know things have changed, I need to know that information so I can have it for this 126 meeting. So I want to have all the numbers done on the 126 meeting. I don't want to be changing things in the public hearing, because that's going to change warrant articles. And I don't want to try to fudge the numbers any more than we have to in the public hearing.
It's your operating budget we're looking at right here. So the ambulance, again, I'm hoping Mr. Hatch can get those out. We'll have those numbers. And as you and I have discussed, when I gave you the higher number, I may have made an error because I just went through it quick and took the November
We're taking
numbers.
the worst case on it. I mean, I understand.
Well, I took the November numbers. I was at 12.56 on the end of September. I believe we were at 14.74 at the end of November. That's a big jump. So I may have crunched those numbers a little. I may have made a mistake in there. But again, they're not the final year-end numbers, so I wasn't really too.
Yeah, I can give this out if you want, so those three have it too. I mean, I didn't send it the Excel spreadsheet, but.
Well, we have the actual reports.
Yeah.
So you just have to take the 6 towns and.
Yeah, it's 12.9% is what it came out to at the end of November.
So when you're doing it, you're adding a 3% annual increase, correct?
I'm just talking the overall run numbers, it's 12.9%, then I have all the total amount that is due each year, it's already added in. Yeah, so I mean, you can see what's projected right now, so I find it hard to believe 1 month's gonna jump us too much higher than 12.9, if from April to November, all of it was 12.9. So so that's where I'm, just so we know those numbers, and then, like I said, I know.
I have to go back.
Historic too, probably.
I have to go back and look at those numbers because my Tamworth numbers were not what I'm seeing here. I'm seeing this number jump right off the page. And I thought they were.
Yeah, I went back and double checked his reports after the meeting talk number. Those are all the numbers he's got on the reports that you sent me for November.
Right, because when I looked at Tamworth, they weren't over 200.
Yep.
So you've got 418 here. And I'm remembering like a 198 and 188.
Oh, God, no.
But don't they have their own?
They do have.
Too, so I think the numbers are captured, but there's no effect on us because of their running their own service, right?
Yeah, they do have a rescue ambulance, what have you, ambulance or in-house. So I don't know how much that's playing into the numbers and if they're crediting those.
Well, I thought on the one, I don't remember, I looked at it a while ago, but I thought on one of the recent reports we got, it actually showed those two numbers for Tamworth.
He only had his for Tamworth, he had the one total action numbers,
Okay.
you know,
Yep.
not transported and all that.
Yep.
And it had the totals and every one of them was the same for every town. And he didn't have anything deleting number from that number.
Well, again, I'm
We can
gonna
go
look.
back and look, and that may be where the difference is, Mike. Maybe it was in that last report that I missed it, or he has it on another page somewhere.
Yeah, or I missed the amount you've got there
So
because
if you
mine
see
was
something, let me know,
significantly lower.
please.
Well, I'm hoping your number's right there.
Yes. Otherwise, my numbers were considerably lower, which would shift the percentage greatly. So.
Yeah.
Again.
Yeah, if you see something, let me know, please, because I'd like to know ahead of time so I can get prepared for the Tuesday meeting.
Well-
Try and finalize everything that we have.
I mean, this is the only number that's a variable to me personally. If anybody else wants to entertain, changing numbers, then the other members here can bring it up. Me personally, I'm good with the numbers right now. As soon as, when we get these in, hopefully tonight, and we crunch the numbers, as far as I'm concerned, that'll be the last piece of the puzzle to give to the budget committee. And then you guys take it, you hold a public hearing. If there's changes to be made, they can be presented there, or like I said, the board prior to it can present a change. I haven't been told of any, and I'm not personally looking to present any outside of this.
Okay.
But you should have that information, hopefully tonight, to crunch numbers, and we can all compare notes on what we come up with percentages. And from there, we should have a hard number.
Tuesday, so the final number. But if I get it Wednesday, I want to put the stuff on the web early, as far as what's approved for the
sure.
budget sheet. And I'll put that number out there, knowing that we may have to change it. But, I mean, I would like to get it closer, because right now I just have the 140 in there,
Yeah, and again,
in the electronic copy.
till, it's the same when we put forward a number without having any good data way back. We're just throwing a number out, we've already got it. We prefaced it that this will change because we know that's the variance in our whole budget that goes into January.
Yeah, these printed copies have the original 88 and 85, 88 in them. So we know we're gonna have to change that and address it in the public hearing. So anybody may have the printed copy,
Yeah.
as opposed to the electronic copy. So I'm just trying to get the electronic copy closer to what it should be. And I spent 2 days with Audrey getting the 737 all done. So that is actually in draft format, been sent to the state. So I think you guys got it. I know she sent it to
Yeah.
Mike and me. I think she sent it to you guys. So
Should have, right?
I'll have copies at the
No,
budget committee for everybody,
I saw
but
that.
it's a draft one. And it looks pretty good. All the numbers match everything that I have, even if we have to adjust it. So it looks like we'll be able to, after the public hearing, if there's any changes, I'll get with Audrey and then we'll be able to sign it that week.
And you gotta submit that, what, about 20, the deadline's 20 days before town meeting, something like that?
No, my deadline has, for you to post it, you have to post it with the warrant. So my deadline is like the 9th or the 12th of February.
Yeah, which is about 20 days before town meeting.
Yeah, 9th or 12th, I can't remember what it is.
All right, so we'll hold our breath until the ambulance reports come out tonight and see how good or bad the situation
Yeah, if
is.
you just send me that, I appreciate it. I'll update you as best I can.
I'll make sure everybody gets that for sure. And then I guess, Chris, these items that have been left here, are they,
Oh, they had just come in the mail this morning, so
okay?
they're free for the taking.
All right, anybody wants to peruse the latest and greatest in certain industries that affect the town, watershed news, the new PEG, which I take it to be
That's transfer station stuff.
transfer station and carpet stuff that we put out here in the hallways, and anybody want to buy a Hitachi or some big heavy equipment for doing municipal? No takers, okay. Then with that, unless somebody else has an issue to cover today, I'm ready to get out of here. Anybody?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second, pull it.
All right, that was hot and fuller. All in favor? Kevin,
All right.
aye? All right. Done
Thank
for
you, folks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Hey, what's that?
You know, Mike, you scared me the other day,
That's my job, Dave.
when you
You know, I
said,
make you as nervous as you make
when you
us.
said we're 800 plus in the whole